Hello, I'm Sayojita. Today I'm going to make folded chapati or Ghadichi Poli as we call it in Marathi. This video is the second in my series on unleavened whole wheat breads. The first being Phulka. The link is right here and in the description box. Ghadichi Poli is the perfect roti for every day. Similar to parathas, but much thinner and not so rich. And much more forgiving than Phulkas. Quite simple to prepare and there's no moving of the tawa involved from one burner to the other and all that coordination. If you want to learn to make chapatis, this is the one to start with. And hey, you may actually not need to learn another. So let's dive into Ghadichi Poli.
I'm going to jump straight into making the rotis. The dough is the same as the chapati dough from the Phulka video. The ingredients will be listed in the description box. I've made the atta earlier. It was in the fridge and I've allowed it to come to room temperature. Just knead it a couple of times and then we're in business. Grease your palms lightly if the dough is sticking to your palms. It does get loose in the refrigerator. This much dough will make 6 chapatis. Balls about 1.5 inches in diameter. The Phulka video has more detail on making the dough and the balls. Keep the balls covered to prevent them from drying out. The rotis will become stiff. I've kept my cast iron tawa to heat. It takes a while and I've kept the heat quite high. Dredge a ball of dough in dry flour and roll it into a circle about 4 to 5 inches in diameter. A mixture of atta and rice flour is best for rolling. The rice flour prevents the roti from sticking to the board. I'm going to apply a light layer of ghee or oil to the roti and fold it twice over. That's why it's called folded chapati. I'm going to make one with ghee and one with oil. First the ghee. I'm using solid ghee, so less than a quarter teaspoon is just fine. If you are using melted ghee, use about quarter teaspoon. More is always welcome of course, but not necessary. Apply ghee over one half of the circle and then fold it over and apply ghee on half of the semicircle. Fold it over again, you will have a quarter of a circle, somewhat triangular in shape. Pinch it closed and roll into a roti. Since we have started with the triangular shape, the roti will be triangular. That is the traditional shape of Ghadichi Poli. My chapatis are 7 to 8 inches on a side, about 1 to 3 per person, depending on their appetite. As a time and effort saving measure, my grandmother would use a big tawa and rolling board. She would make large chapatis that fitted on the whole tawa. On roasting, she would divide them into quarters or halves and store them in the hot box. This way, she needed to make a smaller number, mainly saving on the roasting time. Pay special attention to the corners and the edges while rolling. Quite often, if the corners are thick, they remain partially cooked. Here, you can see the roti is quite thin, slightly thicker than a Phulka. I'm just going to thin it out a bit on this edge and then drop it on the hot tawa. I'm showing you this first roti in real time. You will start to see it puff in about 15 to 20 seconds, depending on how hot your tawa is. If the tawa is too hot, the rotis will burn on the outside before cooking all the way through. And if it's not hot enough, they will take a long time to roast and become chewy. This chapati is puffing up nicely. Once it starts browning, you can flip it over. Press down with a spatula to help it puff. Sometimes the layers open up and the roti will deflate or will not puff, like it has right here. So by pressing down over there, it will continue to puff. The layers separate because of the coating of ghee we have put between the folds of the chapati. Look at those beautiful brown patches. Pay special attention to the corners and the edges while roasting too. By now, you should be getting the wonderful aroma of roasting chapatis. And this one is done. This is the side that was on the top when we dropped the roti on the tawa. And this is the other one. They're slightly different to look at. Apply a light layer of ghee if you like, and place it in a hot box or dabba lined with a cloth or paper towel. This prevents the chapatis from becoming soggy when they are closed in the hot box. On to the next roti. I'm going to apply oil on this one for a vegan version. The rolling and roasting is more or less the same, so I'm just going to speed through it. As you can see, this one is puffing beautifully too. And it's done. Apply a little oil on it if you like, and it's ready to go in the box.
I'm all done with Ghadichi Poli. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If so, do hit the like button and share it with your friends. Next, you can check out my playlist on Indian rotis. I think you'll find that useful too. I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching.